Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Tobi and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Tobi, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod. Kate, you've got the high heels on today.
Yes.
But I saw you last wearing ice skating boots.
That's right.
Yeah?
Had an absolute...
You look like a pro.
Oh, I have not been on the ice for many years, but I joke because Mum was a figure ice skater. So perhaps genetically I was blessed because I did not fall on my butt once and I was expecting not to be able to walk the next day.
I'm always worried about losing fingers, to be honest.
I took 9 children, so trust me, that was at the top of my list. And when we got there, for anyone who wants to go ice skating, bring gloves. We had to buy gloves for every child because it's so cold if they fall over.
It reminds me when over the summer, we went to Australia Zoo.
Oh, yeah?
We actually saw Bindi Irwin.
No way.
Yeah, she hosted the Croc Show in the Croc-Ocean. It was amazing. But it was 30 plus degrees over the summer in the Noosa region. And we went to Australia Zoo and it was actually quite cold and rainy the whole day. So we went to the gift shop and bought a bunch of hoodies. And kind of reminds me of your glove experience. You know what I did do over this summer?
What?
I robotized my house.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's a real word, but I bought a bunch of robots to do stuff. Sim was cracking the shits that the dogs would come in from the park and walk through the house and their paws would be muddy. And so she found herself constantly mopping the floor.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, we can do better than that. And so thanks to JB Hi-Fi's Black Friday sale, this is a long time ago now, but JB, I did a whole bunch of chat GPTing. What's the best robot to buy to mop and vacuum the house?
So good.
And we ended up with a little robot called Rocky who vacuums and mops the house. And it's been such an amazing experience because...
Put us to brand if you've done the research.
Yeah.
I still want to have to go there.
It's called Roborox, not an endorsement, but I had nothing but good things to say about them, but I'm not affiliated with them. But Roborox, and then when you open the device and you scan the QR and you jump into the app, it says name your device. I was like, Roborox sounds like Rocky to me. And so Rocky's been doing all of the hard labor, and I had so much fun that I then went and bought Scuba Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Who's, if you've seen the Adam Sandler movie, Big Daddy, Scuba Steve was one of the characters in that. And Scuba Steve does my swimming pool. I've had a couple of fails. One of them is I got so excited I threw him in the pool, but I forgot to turn him on.
So who just throwing the
no one was around. So I'm looking around trying to pull someone in. But anyway, I fished him out. So that was okay. And then I was trying to all right, if I can just teach Harper to turn this thing on and just drop it in the pool.
Yeah.
I've literally made myself redundant.
Yeah. No longer are you not cleaning the pool. You don't even need to turn on the device. Yes.
So I was showing Harper how to do it. And we threw Scuba Steve in the pool and we're like, oh, Harps, look, he's doing this and this and that. Anyway, at the end, you've got this little device that you bang on the wall of the side of the pool, and Scuba Steve will recognize that bang, almost like a dolphin clicker, and it'll swim over to you and then pull itself to the wall for you to pull it out. So my second mishap with that was I forgot to put the basket in. So Scuba Steve was consuming all of the leaves and all of the stuff on the bottom of the pool, but literally just
throwing
it straight back out because there's no catchment.
Yeah.
So I've learned my lesson. My next one's going to be the lawnmower.
Oh.
I'm interested in that, but these things are not cheap.
I hear.
They're not cheap.
And a bit of a segue to our next guest with the AI. I had a a similar moment of feeling like I may have made my husband redundant because usually when you get locked out of the garage and you can't reach the pull cord and you can't get the car out, I would call him and go, what buttons do I press? How do I do this? Instead, I put it in ChatGPT. Not only did it give me the pictures of everything I had to do,
Yes.
it gave me step-by-step instructions, and literally I was like, how did we get by with
So
that?
interesting you say that. Craig Marquardt, who runs our New South Wales ventures, he had some trouble with his Foxtel box, and he couldn't call Foxtel because it was out of hours. So he just basically put on ChatGPT and said, "Hey, troubleshoot me," and the robot, well, ChatGPT basically responded and troubleshot him like he would get service from a call center. Only he did it at 2:00 in the morning in his own time. It was quite phenomenal. I also did something very similar with the Sonos. We're away for the summer. And I couldn't connect to the Sonos, so I went to ChatGPT and said, "Hey, I've got this Sonos device here. What do I do? How do I connect?" And it also troubleshot me, which was amazing.
Well, for a little bit more sophistication on AI, we've got Dawid here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he runs Pathfindr.ai. And we're going to learn a lot about what he does. But, the AI revolution, there's a lot of businesses that are looking to lock in. But where do they start? How do they get going? What's the first thread that they pull? I think Dawid might have some of the answers that we'll have for you right after this break, thanks to our friends at Rise.
Guys, I want to introduce you to Rise, a business cohort like no other. So what is the Rise Network? Rise Network is a curated inner circle of 10 to 12 like-minded peers designed to provide a confidential, high-trust environment where business owners and leaders can gain strategic insights, actionable solutions, and lasting relationships. Rise isn't just networking, it's a game-changing business support system. It has strategic problem solving built in, expert facilitation, actionable insights, long-term impact and authentic relationships, and it's based exclusively around high-trust cohorts. For your membership, you gain full access to Creative Cubes. That means you can drop in when you're on the run to use the meeting rooms, breakout spaces, or even just dock in for the day. We wanted to serve the underserved, the people that do need the help, do need the support, don't necessarily have the funds to be able to do it, and don't necessarily fit into one of these other organizations. And so that's where Rise kind of came from. So there you have it, guys. Go to werise.au, and I hope to see you at one of our cohorts soon.
Dawid,
Good morning.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. It's fantastic weather in Melbourne today, and nice, good times.
It's showing up. We actually have a huge event next Friday on a rooftop. And when I planned it, I was like, yeah, it should be okay. It's going to be 37 degrees. So I think I'm going to have to relocate. I mean, Melbourne weather, you can't predict it. But what you can predict is all these robots, because there's chatbots, there's little agents that kind of do very little things along the journey. Do you want to just share with the audience a little bit about Pathfindr?
Yeah, sure. What we do is we dive into businesses and just help them adopt, embrace, and really get impact from AI, typically starting with a leadership team. Everything is downstream from that. And impact comes from everybody knowing how to use this technology, applying it to their roles, and then also building custom agents that can automate things end to end. But there's tons of low-hanging fruit anybody can get started with straight away.
Yeah. So, I mean, for the novice that's listening to us today, ChatGPT is a miracle drug as much as a curse. Are you seeing companies go, how can I automate some of the workflow? Like what's the major call to action for you guys?
Yeah, so it's taken a few years for us to really understand what this technology actually is. And at the beginning, it was treated quite like a traditional technology. Let's first find all the ways that we could use it, come up with kind of pros and cons, business case, like that type of thing. As we evolved, we realized that this technology, one of its most powerful aspects is how powerful it is without any IT involvement, without any tech involvement, without any configuration needed. The fact that if I wanted to speak to somebody on a Teams call on Microsoft Teams, I have to configure my headset and all of that. There's actually a bit of work for me to do there. I have to install it, all of that. You think of a tool as simple as ChatGPT, like it requires no work at all, and it can do anything from help me explain quantum physics to a 6-year-old in the style of Pokemon. And it can do that. And I can guarantee you that there's not a single engineer on the planet, particularly Silicon Valley, that is working on describing quantum physics to a 6-year-old in the style of Pokemon. And then it can also help you learn anything new, create an email, or even build an entire application. And all I have to do is ask it questions. The big tipping point has been, initially people were unsure about the technology. Everybody was a bit burned from the metaverse, all this hype. Fair enough. And then there have been moments where people are blown away. Like we've all had this. We've all had that moment where you go, oh my gosh, that's insane. Like this would have taken me ages and I did it in like a minute. Or you've had some fun with your family with this technology. And so it's been hanging around long enough that people have gone, there's definitely something to this. How do I get started? And all the adoption is really patchy at the moment. People also have a lot of simple questions without simple answers. What happens to my data? Is it secure? Does it train the model? And the two biggest things that companies are struggling with is inspiration. What do I use it for? And the second is capability. How do I use it? ChatGPT is an app, but there's a model underneath it. And the more you know how to work with the model, just like you work with a person, the more you'll get out of it. So those are a couple of the things.
So I digress for a split second. I was most blown away by it when my daughter came to me and said, Dad, all my friends are on Snapchat. Can I please get Snapchat? And I was like, let me think about it. And so she created a text message chat between my wife, her and I. And she basically wrote this incredible reasons for and reasons against why she should get Snapchat. I got to like the third line and I was like, give her Snapchat. Like, this is, what an unbelievable kid. How thoughtful, how considerate. We've got a genius child here. Yeah. And I went to her, I go, you're going to get it. She's like, thank you. I said, how did you craft and create? She's like, I just ChatGPT. I went, what?
Yep.
What did you do? And then she pulled the wool on me. And then from there, it's like she was the first person in our family to sort of not discover it, but like get it in. And I was like, tell me more about it. And so it's quite cool.
You could go so much further with that. I mean, you could say, like, I want Snapchat. Can you ask me a couple of questions first before answering how I'm going to send this message in order to get the outcome that I want? And then it might actually ask you, look, what are his interests? What are the big things that are no-go zones? What are things that he really likes? And then it's going to take that in and actually influence it.
I mean, we had Justin Cabani on.
Yes.
Justin actually helped me customize. So I've got a premium version of ChatGPT, although I use it very reluctantly because I don't have a lot of trust in Sam Altman. There's a lot of controversy. I'm a tech entrepreneur. I grew up in Los Angeles. I was about Silicon Beach and Silicon Valley. I'm very intertwined in that community. And Sam came out to Australia and did a fireside chat with Startup Vic. And since then, he's crossed Elon a couple of times. And I love Elon. Like, he's amazing. We'll talk about like Optimus and a whole bunch of bots and FSD and a whole bunch of stuff. I love this stuff. This really gets me excited. But I use it reluctantly because of Sam, because I just don't have enough trust in Sam. However, Justin taught me how to train it. And so in the configuration settings, he's helped me insert my personality and who I am into it, so that when it writes content, it knows who I am, it knows my position, it knows how I talk, the level of sophistication, the sharpness. Sometimes it'll write something for me and I'll go, no, too much fluff, sharpen it up, less words, more concise. And it just tightens it so neatly. What I don't want to do is just let the bot go and do its own thing. I really want to control the levers, but it has come a long way in a very short period of time. And it's phenomenal. Like yesterday I used it. I've got a guest list that I'm working on that they're just sitting in my inbox, that I just invited people. You're on that invite list to a certain event that I'm holding next week. And I needed to get those people out of my inbox into an Excel doc. So I just copied the invite list and I dumped it into ChatGPT and I said, please put this first name, last name, company name, email address in seconds. Like I reckon it was less than 20 seconds. And that thing was, here's a link to download on Excel. Phenomenal.
Yep.
David, help me understand, because I understand this world a lot, but like, what's the sort of stuff that I would call for your help with? Are you helping me work through my workflows to say, oh, we can take 10 steps out, or we don't take 10 steps out, but we can put 10 steps in this bucket so that your staff are freeing up their time? Like, why would someone engage with you and your organization?
Yeah. Okay. So, so we started Pathfindr about 2 years ago, and we've had just awesome growth since then. And, but for the first year, like when people contact, like they go, I'm overwhelmed about where to start with AI. I typically present it at a conference or something like that. And then they'd reach out and say, hey, can you come help us? And we would create an AI strategy for them. And then we realized, hang on, if AI is so damn smart, surely the first thing it would be able to do is tell you how to use it.
Sure.
And then we started flipping to, well, I'm never going to know as much about like the co-working industry as somebody who's literally read every book, white paper, blog post about the co-working industry. And so we flipped to, well, why don't we actually teach people how to use AI to create an AI strategy and to figure out how to apply it in their organization. And so the first thing that we do is there's another, like, what is AI? You know, that's also like a big question, the definition and what it means to have AI across your organization. So there's quite a few levers to it, but the first lever is that your whole leadership team are power users of AI. Now, this is a hugely important distinction because this is not common. Most companies are focusing on AI governance, AI strategy in their leadership team, and the actual use of this technology is for other people in the organization. And that's the first part. So for your leadership team have to be power users of the technology, but not as a productivity tool. Like that's one of the big mistakes is leaders looking at this as meeting minutes, summarizing meeting minutes for a meeting that didn't need to happen with minutes that nobody will ever read.
Yep.
And so that's the first big mistake. Stop using it as a productivity tool. Of course, there's benefit in that. But for a leadership team and your company, the whole company is the result of the decisions that the leadership team makes.
Mm-hmm.
So use AI as a thought partner. Use it to make better decisions. So before you go into a board meeting for some new thing that you're going to present to them, actually ask AI to critique. What are 10 difficult questions the board is likely to ask me? What are 10 risks I might be ignoring? What are 5 better uses of funds? What are alternative ways I could approach this? So as if you've got the world's greatest management consultant, thought partner, expert that can help you talk through these things. But also, more recently, what we've been moving to is, your ability to even go to that board meeting like with a good mindset, clear mind, clear vision, everything is often as a result of how well you're managing yourself. And so AI is actually fantastic at helping you manage yourself. So one of the things that I highly recommend every leader do is use AI to first interview you to understand your goals, priorities, your KPIs, what you're good at, what you'd like to spend less time doing and more time doing. And then, first of all, people are usually blown away at how well it runs the interview, how well it summarizes it. But then the next step is, can you now go through all of my emails and my calendar for the last 2 years and see if how I'm using my time remotely reflects what my goals and ambitions are.
Oh, wow.
And so get them to do a career reflection using
Wow.
this. It takes about half an hour to run, but their jaws drop. And then you ask it, can you give me 10 recommendations, but also 10 critiques? You have to draw criticism out of AI. It's built for an engaging user experience. Think of this podcast here, right? Imagine if everything that you said, I would just say, I disagree. I don't think so. It's not, we're still human. It's not nice. It's, there's a place for that thing. AI is kind of built that you use it like all the time through the day. And so it is bent a bit to making you, it will challenge you by default, but it is actually kind of built to be like a great friend, not as like somebody who's going to be a devil's advocate. So you have to draw criticism out of it. And what also helps is giving it a number. Give me 10 critiques, give me 10 recommendations, something like that. When I did this the first time, the first one it hit me back with was, you're not operating, it said, you're operating like a high-performing project manager, not a business leader. The second thing it hit me with is, you're a micromanager. You're far too much in the detail, and it cited all sorts of examples. Third thing was, you're not present. Whenever you're on a meeting or a call or something like that, you're having 6 different chats at the same time in Microsoft Teams, because it had access to all the Teams chat information, can do the timestamps. And so it was absolutely fascinating. Produced a whole white paper, and then the 10 recommendations were like pretty phenomenal. One was, it's time to give full accountability and ownership of your strategic projects to these 2 people. Actually named them because it went through all that information. So that's a really good way of doing it, reflecting on like career and life reflection as well, and then also coming up with like a 100-day plan. What I use it for now as well is, I have like my 8 key habits that I want to behaviors that I want to have for this year. Spent a lot of time over Christmas with this. I do a daily check-in with this AI agent that we just it's just a bit of a brain dump. Talk through things, and just to help keep me on track. Might only take 5 minutes, but it's remarkably effective. So starting using AI first is like improving yourself before worrying about the rest. It's remarkably powerful. That's a great starting point.
Can I ask, because a lot of people, when they think of AI, just think of ChatGPT. Now, when you've talked about going into your emails and your Teams, what software have you used there, or how have you done this?
So one cool thing to think about AI is there's 2 angles to it. It's the app and the model. Okay. ChatGPT is the app. GPT 5.2 is the model. Okay. So that's really important. It's really good. It's really important to know those differences. In AI, the outcome you get, everything's built up from the model. So think of AI much more like a person, and not just one person. Think of it actually as 3 people. That's the best way to think about it. Think of it as 3 new team members that have just joined you. You have an assistant, somebody like a grad, low level work, super fast. Then you have a thinker, somebody who's read every book. They're very great at analysis. It's just slower. Like you might wait half an hour for a response, and then you've got a creator. This is somebody who's great at generating videos, images, but code as well. Very good at creating code and applications. Those are actually all different models, and knowing which model to call is most of the battle. The only thing you need to remember is that there's 2 types of models: ones that think and those that don't. And in a tool like ChatGPT, when it defaults to a model group called GPT 5.2, when you get an immediate answer, that's the assistant.
Yes.
when it takes longer and you actually see it thinking and problem solving, that's the thinker. But it's trying to do that automatically for you, decide which one to call. All you do, make it a complete habit. Just select the thinking variant of these models by default. Don't let it choose whether it thinks not. That will massively improve the outcome. I'm happy to wait 20 seconds for the right answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a tool like Claude, you just click on extended thinking. Same with Grok. Same with Copilot. So you have Microsoft Copilot, which by default has access to all of your email and Teams and that. So that's the app is Copilot. The model they use is GPT 5.2.
Well, they're a big investor.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but flipping to thinking there will make a huge difference. My recommendations on tooling is start with ChatGPT, become a power user of that tool. There's a few reasons for that.
In which paid model?
So you can start with a free version. If you use it properly, you'll hit the limits of it very quickly and it'll tell you. These things of course, I've got subscriptions to all of them and also the highest tier subscription because I use them a lot. If you pay like $30 a month for the paid version of ChatGPT and you don't know how to use it, it's a very expensive $30. If you know how to use ChatGPT really well and you're using the $300 a month version, it is the cheapest. It's the best $300 a month you will ever spend. It's all about what you use it for.
And the question with switching to the Teams model of that, what is being shared there when you go with your team? So my example would be that I use the $300 one, probably above my pay grade, probably a very expensive model to be using, but I use it a lot. And moving to the Teams one, I was like, is all of my information then available to the team? Because what if I've asked questions about the team or...
It's a great question. So very simply, there's also two types of tiers. You have consumer tiers and you have business tiers.
Yeah.
So the consumer tiers, that includes that includes the paid version and the free version. So a tool like ChatGPT. Now I'm using ChatGPT as the example here. It is very similar pattern with all of them. So ChatGPT has free and they have plus, and they have pro. Those three are all consumer tiers. The consumer tiers, they don't have the certifications that the business ones have, specifically SOC 2 Type 2, ISO 27001. These are your super like data security tiers that are hard to get. And so I'm not commenting whether they're secure or not. I believe they're highly secure. They just don't have those certifications that are typically for business grade ones. As soon as you flip to Teams, you're on a business tier now,
right?
And you have those certifications.
Yeah.
And often the business variations of these products, even though they might be more expensive, they very often will get the newer features later because the consumer ones are a bit of a testing ground and all of that. So by going to the Teams one, in that case, you're actually on the secure version, or I'd say the certified versions. Just what Teams allows you to do is to share things across your team. You can create a shared asset and share it across your team like you would a shared folder or
Great.
So going to Teams is a fantastic thing. I mean, how useless would like SharePoint be, or if nobody else had access to your folders except you?
Yeah.
Like it would be kind of a useless tool.
And from a governance point of view, are you more protected as a business as well by using the Teams version?
There's no get out of jail free card. So if AI makes a huge, if you do something and like it's not the right, it's a really bad outcome, like we saw with one of those consulting firms with this report that they created, charged a fortune for it, was full of AI hallucinations. You're still responsible for the product it produces, just the same as if I had an employee in my company commit like huge fraud,
yes,
like it's Pathfindr that's going to get sued. Like I'm still ultimately responsible for the controls and all that. It's the same. It's the same with AI as well. So knowing, like having a good acceptable use policy is really important. Most companies have an acceptable use policy, but it's garbage. Like it's a rubbish one. It was created by somebody in the IT team 2 years ago. It's either too stringent, too vague. It's not practical. And so you have all this shadow AI use where people are using their own personal free versions of ChatGPT, which does train the model by default. And they're putting work information in there because they haven't been given a good tool at work that they can use day to day. One thing that is getting better, it's called a prompt security layer. There's a few ways of implementing this, but this is a layer that when you put in something into an AI tool, it checks first if that complies with your AI policy and will alert you. It looks like you're putting in a tax file number. Is this a tax file? Looks like a tax file number. You shouldn't be putting this in. And then it's up you as the company. You can decide whether or not you give people the ability to override or like decline, things like that. But a lot of these tools are now building it into the tool itself. So a tool like ChatGPT, Claude, any of those ones, I would say it's not going to be too long before that layer actually sits directly within the tool, whereas at the moment it's kind of something that sits over the top.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing.
I am fascinated by this. I drive a Tesla. FSD is moments away. I heard Jason Kalkanis on the All In Pod earlier this week talk about his visit to Austin, Texas. And he said, Tesla won't be remembered for making cars because there'll be over 1 billion Optimus robots. And I love the automation. For me, it started when my kids were born. I had subscription diapers. I lived in Los Angeles. So Amazon would ship me every month a diaper or diapers on order. I did the same thing for my dog food. I did the same thing for my bath soaps and toilet paper and a whole bunch of things. So I just didn't have to get the grocery store list out and do all these things. It was just automation from there. I don't think you could get carried away with it. Like, I don't think you can automate everything. I think there is an element of human aspects to life, but just like anything, the sprinkler system turns on a certain time. I don't have to remind myself to go out there to turn the tap to water the garden. You can just leave that on automation, right? And so I love what this is doing to our world. In the wrong hands, it can be super dangerous, which is why I just don't know if I trust Sam's intent versus Elon. Elon's all about humanity. And some people love Elon. Some people hate him. I heard Alan Iverson, who we get to speak with next week here in Australia, say there's 1 billion people that love Alan Iverson and there's 1 billion people that hate Alan Iverson. So, you're never going to get it right. But I love the ability, talked about being present. One thing that I'm complimented on a lot is that I'm hyper present whenever I'm involved in anything that I do, whether it's with my kids or just taking the time to be on a call or in a meeting or even on this podcast, right? I'm not thinking about other things because you've been generous enough to give me your time. I don't want to waste that. But being present, I'm looking forward to being able to be free from chores, free from, we haven't talked about like agents and what they can do within your organization, but maybe that's an opportunity to engage with David and his team at Flagship. But I'm fascinated. We have this suppository, I guess, called the Knowledge Center in our organization because we have 17 sites now and hundreds of people coming at staff all day, every day for various things. Oh, my printer, I can't log in, my Wi-Fi, my meeting room. There's a gazillion things that come at us. And so we're looking to create an agent that goes straight into our knowledge center and just pulls out. And it's not search. It's literally I can call. I go, hey, it's Kendall from the happiness team here in South Melbourne. David has got a problem with XYZ. How am I to help him? Oh, great. I can help you with this. Or David wants to book a restaurant nearby for his team to go celebrate. We're here in South Melbourne. What's the best reviews on Google to da-da-da-da-da. And it just helps the concierge aspect and speeds up the process. And it also doesn't get people stuck in Google Docs. Yeah. Where's the search term keyword for this or that? It's just instant and it's on. And we're looking to do something very similar on the flip side, where people call our phone number. Hi, this is Tobi's assistant. How may I help you? And help them with processing them through whatever they are without me having to. And it's pulling all the data from our knowledge center. It's very similar to what you said about your emails.
Yeah, definitely. So those things are so good. And so like I strongly believe that as a baseline, whenever you apply AI to something, it should improve the experience.
That's right.
It has to improve the experience. This is not about doing it just like faster, cheaper, but like kind of worse. It should always be, is this good for the customer? Is this good for the employee? Get a lot of questions like, could AI do blah? And the answer will usually be yes, it could, but is that really what your customers want? It's like a lot of it is often, could we get AI to like phone our customers and check in and things like that? It's like, yeah, but would you want to be getting like?
So it's funny you should. Yeah, that's right. So it's funny you should say that.
Yeah,
totally. So customer experience, it's something I'm like hyper conscious of. Like, I don't want anything to jeopardize my customer experience. Probably similar to you with the stuff that you produce as well. You want to make sure that you have evangelism, returning customers, happy customers. But I remember Ruslan Kogan from Kogan.com, he did this funny skit on Chapel Street, very early before it is what it is today, around pop-ups on your website, where I've added something to cart, and he actually physically went into a store, and he's like, "No, you can't come in here because you didn't subscribe to my newsletter. And no, you can't get past the door." And he did. It was actually very, very funny. And he highlighted bad user experience through that aspect. And so I agree with you. I think user experience and customer experience should be at the forefront, or even like staff. I focus heavily on my staff.
Yeah, definitely.
Who then focus on the customer. But if I focus on the customer and leave my staff, like there's a problem in the chain, right?
So your whole company has a lot more power and capability now than it had before. So there's three layers of AI in your company. So the first is just really supercharge what you do today. So do what you do today, but just remove all the friction, all the barriers. The knowledge base is a fantastic example, right?
Yep.
I just want to ask a question and get an answer. Fantastic. Do what you do today, but faster. The second is where you reimagine how you work. Now, this is, let's say you wanted a new guest check-in experience at the concierge there. The current way of doing this would be, hey, let's brainstorm, let's do mock-ups, let's do that kind of thing. But now everybody knows how to code. Everybody knows how to code. They're not coding yet.
Sure.
They don't know that they know how to code. And this is relatively new. This completely exploded in terms of its capability with the Gemini 3 release last year. It's just so good at coding really fast. But the reimagine aspect is, instead of going, hey guys, we want to get ideas for how to the new concierge check-in experience, it's, hey guys, on Monday, I want you all to bring your prototypes of what the new check-in experience could be, and everybody's going to pitch their prototype. And all I want you to do is spend 1 hour with Claude or Google's AI Studio or anything like that, and vibe code. And people are going to go, oh, geez, I don't know how to code or whatever. He said, you do. I'm going to show you. In 5 minutes, I'm going to show you. You go here, give it an idea. It's going to create something. And then you're going to go, oh, actually, no, I want to change this to that. Could we also add that? And that's what vibe coding is, and vibe working and all of this, this kind of thing. There's also, there's vibe everything now. But there's like vibe startup pitches now as well, where they're trying to like solve a key problem and develop an app and a business case and testing within like 3-4 days. And that's the whole reimagine component. The reimagine component is reimagining the workflow of how you work. So like, instead of our first meeting being, let's talk about all the meetings we're going to have, our first meeting being, we're all going to walk through our prototypes together. And the final one is where you're trying to see, is there a way to actually create a whole new revenue stream through this, through AI, like a whole new product. AI is a generalist tool. Let's say it's like 85% good at like everything.
Yep.
in every single industry, no matter how niche it is, there's a massive demand and a gold mine being the person who takes from 85 to 95% for that industry. So for instance, decorating a podcast studio or something like that, you could take a photo with ChatGPT and it could populate it for you, or Gemini. But it's not going to do that as well as somebody who comes from that industry. They know how to prompt it. They know the prompts to put and everything like that. And so become the person who actually says, you pay $20 a month for my AI tool. And sure, it does what like the other ones do, as if you know how to prompt it really well, which you don't. But I've figured out all the right prompts for my industry, and it's only going to populate it with furniture that's available by suppliers in Australia. And so breaking that down, and that's super niche.
I like what you said there, 85 to 95. I really impress on my team that there's no congestion at the extra mile, and very few people are playing there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So play there.
So how do people, if they want to start with Pathfindr, what does that look like?
Yeah, it's really simple. I honestly believe this is such a force for good. Of course there are risks like there are with any new technology. Of course there's things that need to be managed, but the power of how anybody in the world now can learn anything at their own speed, any time of day, in their own language, in a way that relates to them is so insanely powerful. We just believe it's going to open up so much opportunity of entrepreneurship and learning and all of this stuff that we put on a free monthly webinar at start. You just go to startlearning.ai. I can't believe I got that domain.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. But that just takes you straight to the landing page for our monthly webinar. Bring your whole team. It's a lot of fun. It's packed with value. And if what we do in that session, we're going to teach you how to vibe code. We're going to teach you how to do all of the basics of ChatGPT that honestly, I think maybe we've had one person or two people that we've ever met and trained up has done what we consider the basics. You're going to learn all those things. And if you wanted to talk to us more about like actually rolling it out across your organization, of course, we'd love to chat. But first and foremost, just get your inspiration sorted. Like, wow, I didn't know it could do these things.
Startlearning.ai.
Yeah, guys, I was about to say, I'm going to put all that in the show notes so you can just literally click if you're watching or listening right now, depending on the platform. Go there. Guys, we're going to take a quick break after we hear from Luna.
Luna.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, Luna.co is where you need to be starting off.
Kate, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, mind blown.
Yeah.
Like, start again. Sign me up to the wow, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting like potting with you on the frequent when it comes to tech and
you've got tech, I've got help.
Yeah, right.
There where we go.
So I want to introduce you to something probably on our next pod. I've got a little app because in the back of my mind, I'm like, how do I bring myself up to speed so that I can speak as confidently with as much knowledge, not even close, but at least a level of competency when it comes to health and well in your world. And then I got to bring you into tech and, you're an entrepreneur anyway, but tech, entrepreneurship and, thinking differently. I had a call yesterday from Craig out of New South Wales, Craig Marquardt. He's like, hey, I've got a deal for this, this, and this. And I said, no. I was like, but what about if we did it this way? It's like, I never thought about that. Like in my head, I'm like, how can you not think about that? And it's just that I think I'm right brain, he's left brain, just think about things differently. But with AI, I think about AFL versus rugby. I know this is kind of weird, but in rugby, it's catch the ball, run in a straight line. In AFL, it's catch the ball and I am going to be tackled from any direction. And so I have to be a full 360. And I think about when I put my stuff into whatever, but I actually love Grok. I'm also a user of that. So I use ChatGPT for work and Grok for personal, just to change the identities a little bit. But when I put it in, this technology can go anywhere. It doesn't have to run in a linear or straight line and get tackled and then put the ball behind and try and advance the ball. It can advance in any direction on the field, off the field, on the court, off the court, to just take shit off your plate.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. I've got an amazing app, and I thought about you because I downloaded it near your house when I was down there over the summer. It is called Yuka. Have you heard of Yuka?
No.
Oh, here we
Did
go.
you spell that?
Yuka.
Okay.
We're going to have some fun on the next. It's a little bit of a bot. It's a cheat code for me. I'm going to share it with you in the break, and maybe we'll talk about it. If you like what you see, we'll talk about it on the next pod. But guys, Pathfindr AI is where we recommend you start. Reach out to Dawid and his team. And guys, I look forward to seeing everyone benefit from this technology going forward, both personally in their private life. Maybe you want to buy some scuba Steves like me, if you've got a swimming pool, all the way through to, hey, help me sharpen this, help me soften this, email to send to Kate because I don't want to upset her by saying the wrong thing.
Or open the garage door.
All right, we'll see you on the next one.